how you doing? I know it's been like 3 days since we saw each other. I just uploaded. I uploaded, I guess, on Monday because the video was kind of broken on Sunday. So I guess it's only been 2 days, but it's me, Maddie, and I just wanted to come on and talk about my major. I previously mentioned 2 videos ago that I had recently just changed what I'm studying, and it's drastically different. So I just wanted to give some tips and kind of relate that back to my own life, and just reassure you guys that changing your major isn't as scary as it sounds. Initially it is, but once you start your classes, it feels so much better. So I'm going to talk about that for a little bit, but I wanted to just first off mention that I'm kind of sick. My voice is just kind of going away, so if it sounds a little scratchy, that's why. But other than that, I'm trying to just stay healthy, diffuse a lot of thieves, get a lot of sleep. It just kind of came on all of a sudden, and I don't know if I'm actually sick or if it's just my throat being gone, but we shall see. Another little update is I've kind of decided to start filming twice a week instead of just once. So I want to start uploading on Wednesdays and also Sundays. So this is why this video is coming out. I just have a lot of ideas flowing through my head, and I'm really enjoying filming and editing, so I want to do a little bit more, and I'm really wanting to just share my life with you guys. So this is why I'm doing this video. Plus it's the end of the semester. Well, it's in the middle of the semester, so people might start realizing that they don't want their major anymore, and I think this is just kind of like an important part and time to really evaluate what you're doing. So we're gonna start off with just a couple things, and each thing I'll make sure to include my own story with it, just because one, I want to talk about what I went through, and I think people can relate more to people's stories. And also two, I think it goes along with each of the advice tips. I don't want to give you advice and not have to not have gone through that. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I love having conversations with you guys down below, so feel free to ask any questions about NAU or honors or my major. Even though I'm a freshman, I still have done the class. I've done some of the classes, and I've done some biology ones, which we'll get into. So yeah, comment down below any questions that you may have about this process and what it's like or going to be like for you guys. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is think of all of the things you love doing. So for me, when I originally chose my major, which was biology, that was what I started majoring in when I came into NAU. And I had thought, I love working with animals. I just love them in general. I love science. I love asking why and figuring out all of the answers and figuring out why things happen the way they do. So I had always been passionate about science. I had taken so many science classes in high school, and it just felt right. I felt like I could do a lot of things with biology. I came in wanting to be a vet, and that stayed the entire semester. I checked out a bunch of vet schools. I became a part of a pre-vet club. So I checked out all of my options and really made sure that that was something I wanted to do. And in that moment, those were the boxes that I was checking off. Like, those were the things that I love. When I started considering changing my major, I really thought about the things I love doing. So now I'm a finance major, and the things I realized, actually NAU is kind of what happened. So I ended up being in a Calc 2 class, which is pretty high level. It's a lot of work, and oddly enough, I just loved it. And I've always loved math. That was something I was always very passionate about, but I never saw myself being a math major because they do a lot of math research and that wasn't something I was interested in. I didn't want to teach it. So that was just kind of like thrown out the, window. I just was like, no. But Calc 2 really just made me realize I wanted to do something with numbers. I don't know what it was about it, and I don't know why I didn't notice it before, but it was just something I really loved doing. So that was one of the things that made me reconsider biology, because although math is important for chemistry, I just didn't see myself running numbers every day as a vet. So I really thought about it. For some people, it might be better to make a list. I just wasn't, I kind of already had an idea of where I wanted to go. So I didn't make a list of my passions, but I really believe that your career should be something you're passionate about. Yes, it's important that it provides for you and you can provide for your family, no matter whether you're a woman or male. But I really do think that you have to love your job. Like, no one wants to go in and hate being there. You're going to be there for like the rest of your life unless you obviously move up or change jobs, which tends to happen more frequently now than it did before. But so really think about what your passions are, and that will really start the conversation of where you want to go with your major. Okay, the second thing I really took into consideration was the classes I was taking currently in that time. So I was taking, this is NAU numbers, but I was taking Bio 182, Chem 151, and some other like preliminary classes, but those were my main science ones. And I really, I enjoyed them, but I was never excited to go to class, I should say. My chem class, I was really excited to go to just because I knew some people in that class. It was pretty easy. I had already taken AP Chem, and I didn't really need to take that class because this was like preliminary chemistry, but I took it anyways because chem is a hard subject. It's not something you can just kind of breeze through. So I started with that. Bio 182 is a step above, so it's the second class in a row, I guess, if that makes sense. So it was still a preliminary class, but I thought I would love it because it was all about the animal systems. It was about all the way from like microorganisms to mammals. So I really thought I would love that class, and I just didn't feel like that was the class for me. I really didn't enjoy it. So that was kind of an indicator that something was wrong with what I was choosing, because my major is biology, which is something I'd be studying. These are the things that I was going to be really needing to learn for the rest of the 4 years. So because these classes are foundational. So that was what made me really start thinking. I've had a lot of friends who start the semester in a couple classes and they just realize firsthand, no, this is not what I want to do. I had a friend who changed her major in the first week of being here just because the classes she had chosen just weren't for her. And mind you, like the first preliminary classes, like those are introductions, but it's still something that those classes will come back to in the future. I mean, yeah, I didn't need to know about microorganisms for the most part, besides like parasites and that kind of thing. However, it just didn't spark anything in me. I didn't want to learn. I wasn't there because I wanted to learn every little system. I just was there to get the grade, and that's not something you should do when you go to college. You want to go because you want to learn. So I think classes is a main factor of whether you should change your major or not. The third thing that's really important is to kind of look into the future and plan your life in advance. So for me, I've always known that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I do want to have a job that I can still come back to, or still do even while I'm having kids. So that was always really important to me, and I realized that being a vet probably wasn't the best option for that. Clearly it's a lot of school, So I wouldn't be done until 26 maybe anyway, which is when I kind of want to start having kids. It was important for my decision making. And I didn't want to go to grad school, which doesn't correlate with vets at all because you need to go to grad school. I didn't want to be in debt, which would most likely happen unless I got an amazing scholarship, which I don't want to drag myself down, but that's just something that didn't seem very plausible. And it just seemed more of a stressful task. And I want to love college. I want to love learning. And I don't want to be stressed about that type of thing. And so vet just didn't seem like the place to go. None of the things I wanted in my future were things that aligned with that career. Finance, I have always budgeted. As a kid, I loved money. I loved saving. I loved even spending it. And I think that's a good thing, is love spending, love saving equally and balance that out. And I really want to help people be good with their money, because especially as college students, that kind of thing kind of just goes over our heads because we get so excited and we have so many things we want. So it's really good to prioritize that type of thing. So I kind of realized that was my passion. And Dave Ramsey, shout out to Dave Ramsey, he kind of became the person that I really looked up to. And that was almost the main reason why I wanted to also change my major. So I had started watching his videos and just really realized what impact he was making, and I just really felt drawn to it. So I really just looked to the future and saw what would be good for what I wanted. And although it sucks, I'm kind of sad that I'm not doing vet plan anymore, but I'm even more excited for this finance plan. Okay, so the next thing is to look at your major progression plan that you're looking towards. So I looked at biology and it was incredibly intense. I would have to do about 17 credits every semester, which is a lot. It's about what I'm doing now anyway, but it was a lot more stressful, especially if I wanted to have a minor or anything. It just didn't seem possible, especially since I want to work and I want to have fun and I want to go do extra things. So it all just didn't seem to mesh correctly. So I looked at the finance progression plan, and I don't want to say it's easy, but it's definitely a lighter load. I don't have to take OChem, which is probably one of the most classes, like the first class that I was really stressing out about. So I just felt almost content and at ease with it, because wanting to work and wanting to join clubs, those are things that add time to your schedule. And with a crazy major, that's just not possible. So just for me, I've known so many people who can do it and do such a great job at handling their time. But for me, that just wasn't in my playbook. It just wasn't a part of something that I could handle. So that really was another important factor of this was something that was on the lower priority. Like, I'm okay working harder and working more. But it was also something that I've always stressed myself out. I've always pushed myself almost to like the breaking point. So I wanted a major that I could really invest my time fully into, and finance just seemed to be that one. So really make sure that you guys look for things that fit in all of your criteria. So really make a list of things you want, things for the future, things for your classes. All of that will really help you make your decision. Okay, the last and final thing, really simple, but just try new classes. I think that's the most important part, is to just get into a class that you think might be interesting, and who knows, like you might just soar really high in that class and just realize that that's your calling and that's your passion. I had a friend in my chemistry class who was a chemistry major, and he realized by the end of the semester that anthropology was his calling, because he had taken anthropology class and he just fell in love with the subject. And that doesn't mean that he doesn't love chemistry anymore, or that it just wasn't it didn't feel right in the gut. So you have to do kind of like a gut check, and really just listen into your body and see what you're feeling is right, because that's how you know what you want to do. So definitely just add those fun classes to your schedule. There's no shame in taking a chemistry class if you're a business major, or vice versa, just to see what it's like. Put your toe in the water. It's harder definitely to go into a science major later on, just because of how much catch-up work you'll have to do. But anything's possible, and I believe in every single one of you guys. So I really think that you should just try new things, go to a club. There's lots of clubs at NAU for sure, and I'm sure other campuses as well that delve really into different majors and different careers, that will really give you the advantage of finding a career that you'll love. So I hope these tips really helped you. I know this is a stressful decision, but making a decision for the rest of your life is kind of scary. But definitely talk with your advisor, talk with some friends that really know you, talk to your family, and they will help you through this troubling time. But it will get better, I promise you. This semester is so good, and I'm loving my classes so much. So I really hope this all helped you. Leave any comments down below, any questions, any comments, concerns. I'd love to hear them all. So I will talk to you guys later. I'm gonna have a video coming up on Sunday, so watch out for that one. But I'll see you guys soon. Love you all. Bye.